was a year ago, as you know, and grocery prices have been up. So we've covered the economy, but there's mixed signals in terms of what that looks like. But on
inflation is down from where it was. As measured by the overall CPI, it has slowed to an average 2.5% pace. This is down from what the president inherited. The president inherited 2.9% in January. Today it's at about 2.5%. So we're trending in the right direction.
Was it high under Biden? They're just saying it's not.
Well, nobody reported on it being high under Biden. My predecessor was standing at this podium, but now you want to ask me a lot of questions about it, which I'm happy to answer. But I will just add, there's a lot more scrutiny on this issue from this press corps than there was. Well, in the previous administration said that too. My predecessor stood up at this podium and she said inflation doesn't exist. She said the border was secure. And people like you just took her at her word, and those were two utter lies. Everything I'm telling you is the truth backed by real factual data, and you just don't want to report on it because you want to push untrue narratives about the president.
First, on affordability, since we were talking about the economy at the beginning, if the economy is as strong as the president has said it is, then why is he telling parents 2 weeks before Christmas that they should only buy 2 or 3 dolls for their children?
Look, what the president is saying is that if we want products made right here in America, if we want them to be made from American small businesses, which is a large part of the reason the president has effectively implemented tariffs, then we're going to have better quality products right here in the United States. Maybe you'll pay $1 or $2 more, but you will get better quality and you'll be supporting your fellow Americans by buying American, and that's what the president was saying. Again, with respect to affordability, every economic metric, Kaitlan, and I wish you would report more on it, does in fact show that the economy is getting better and brighter than where it was under the previous administration. I will repeat, inflation as measured by the overall CPI has slowed to an average 2.5% pace. Real wages are increasing, roughly $1,200 for the average worker. Gas prices are down in almost every single state across the country. Again, in 22 states, it's below $2.75. You look at the tax cuts, those are going to go into effect next year. So the best is yet to come. The president is digging our country out of the economic hole that the previous administration put us in, and that's what he's talking about. Go ahead.
My follow-up question on Venezuela, Karoline.
I'm not going to take your follow-up. Go ahead.
Does the White
Army, there's plenty of drama around the sale of Warner Brothers Discovery. Paramount has made a hostile bid to acquire Warner Brothers, and that's set up a furious bidding war with Netflix for the media giant. And now Donald Trump has had his say. He's very interested in what happens to CNN.
I just think that the people that have run CNN into the ground, by the way, nobody watches, very few people watch, I don't think they should be entrusted with running CNN any longer. So I think any deal should be guaranteed and certain that CNN is part of it, or sold separately.
Army, what's your take on that?
Yeah, there's a lot. Look, Hollywood and the news media is changing. Obviously, you know this, I know this, dramatically. This is a massive deal, both in terms of the direction of Hollywood going forward and direction and the control of the media, particularly news as well, right? Warner Brothers owns CNN. It owns a tremendous amount of cable channels, one of the largest, if not the largest, studio in Hollywood. And there's a lot of consolidation going on. Netflix came out of nowhere to make this bid. It was crazy. People were shocked by it. And then, of course, you had David Ellison and Skydance, who just consumed Paramount, coming in and going for a bid for Warner Brothers. So look, first of all, let's start with winners and losers. So for losers, yeah, one of the major losers on this thing is going to be Hollywood executives and the Hollywood elitist left, who will lose a lot of jobs. Right? They're talking about $6 billion of synergy. What does synergy mean? It means people are going to be out of work. I don't think that's such a bad thing, considering they are so aligned against the Republicans and Trump. Winner, man, it looks like Barry Weiss might be cleaning up again. Barry Weiss, of course, the center, very center, Free Press founder, former New York Times op-ed writer. She was brought in to be the CEO of CBS News, which was a massive win, and not for conservatives, but for truth in the news, right? Simply not something that's non-biased is good for us, and that's what she is. She's not a conservative. She's not a liberal. She calls it, she sees it. Well, she may be knocking the door, being in charge of CNN as well. I think that'd be great for freedom in media, right? I think that also we have to take a look at the money that's being involved in this thing, right? You have Netflix. Between Netflix, look, by the way, it's also great for consumers because Netflix and Amazon control 20% of all streaming views. And as we know, streaming is where everything is moved to, if not has already moved to. It's only moving all of it to. Now I think between the combined Paramount and Warner Brothers, you're going to see more streaming competition happen. So and look, the money being spent between those behemoths, Prime Video / Amazon and Sarandos and Netflix, they gave over $10 million to Kamala Harris. So again, I think anything that stems that power, that Hollywood liberal power, I think is a good thing. In terms of what we should be worrying about, look, I don't like that Trump is putting his finger on the scale. I don't think that's helpful to a deal like this. I don't think he needs to talk about CNN. We all know the issues there. And the other worrying thing slightly is there's a lot of Gulf money involved with David Ellison and Skydance. Particularly, there's $6 billion coming from the Qataris. I never loved that. So look, that's where I stand on this thing. Overall, as far as I go, yeah, I'm on Team David Ellison. I'm on Team Paramount, Team Skydance. I definitely am not rooting for Netflix on this thing.